Legion, it's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play The Long Dark in a brand new Interloper series in the June 2018 Vigilant Flame update. I'm not going to do a long or overly edited introduction this time around, and I'll talk off the cuff about what to expect from this series and Long Dark content in general once we get going, because people ask me about this a lot. But in case you missed it, The Long Dark dropped its latest Sandbox update yesterday, June 14th, 2018. Here are 5 key additions to get excited about. Full patch notes are linked in the description below. And there's also a video linked, as Raphael usually does. He talked about the content that's been added in a narrative style. First of all, there's a brand new zone. It's completely barren of any kind of human structure whatsoever, which is the farthest Long Dark has ever gone. They did add the Forlorn Muskeg, and of course Timberwolf Mountain's been around for a while, but even those areas have some human remnants. This is the first zone in the Long Dark that has absolutely no human structures whatsoever, and it's called Hushed River Valley. There are new cooking mechanics, which basically mean that cooking now happens in the world in real time. This is the first pass at the ability for players to actually cook in the world and let time pass and do other things while things are cooking, say on the stove or around the fire. So it's a completely new system. Buffer memories have been added. Buffer memories are basically ways for you to learn more about the lore of the world, even in sandbox mode, when the aurora kicks in and you're looking at a computer or some other digital device that has reactivated with the aurora's electrical surge. And then there's the placement of items from the radio menu, which helps with cooking, and I'll show you that once we jump in. And finally, this wasn't in the official list of like mainline features, but Raphael has also noted, and this is just huge for me, that there is new music from the game's original composer in this update. So we're going to get some new music as well. Maybe in certain zones, maybe just in general, there's some new ambient music to explore to, which I'm really excited about because the Long Dark's ambient soundtrack has always been one of my favorite things about it. Without any further delay, I know a lot of you have been looking forward to my jumping into the Long Dark again for a long time. And again, I'll talk about what my exact plans are as we kick things off here in a second. But let's go to survival mode. This is going to be an Interloper series, so we're not going to do any kind of custom settings. We're playing on Interloper difficulty mode. This is, of course, for expert players looking for the ultimate wilderness survival challenge. You'll start with the most minimal resources in a random region, by the way, and you have to craft everything you need to survive. The world becomes more hostile the longer you survive, and allows for 2 active feats. Let's confirm this. Should we play as Jennifer or Mark? Jennifer's against all odds. Let's have Mark take over for Vigilant Flame. All right, Mark, it's all you. And we are not going to activate any feats whatsoever. I need to play more of the Long Dark, don't I? I haven't unlocked many feats since the launch of the main game. I've had a lot to do. I've been busy. But anyway, let's see. This is going to be called Vigilant Flame. We're going to accept, and we're going to see what quote we started off with. No one can tell what goes on between the person you were and the person you become. No one can chart that blue and lonely section of hell. There are no maps of the change. You just come out the other side. Stephen King, The Stand. We have started in, oh boy, this is either Coastal Highway or Desolation Point. Desolation Point, yay! Okay, interesting starting location for sure. So, I did a random start yesterday using custom settings, and it put me in the new region. Can you imagine custom settings that are tougher than Interloper? Can you imagine being an Interloper with limited resources in the brand new region with no human structures of any kind? That's where you start. And by the way, it was midnight too. The game was just laughing at me. It was hilarious. And no, I don't wish that would have been the start for this. Are you kidding me? No. Why would I want that? That's completely insane. All right, let's get some crow feathers. So we found a dead deer already, which is nice, but it's very much frozen, so we won't be able to do anything with that. First stops first. We can't stay out here for long because it is. Speaking of nighttime, it's getting there. Hey, bunny. It's getting there, but I'm just taking a look around to kind of get a lay of the land. And we might actually go by the Riken first, because the Riken is, even on Interloper, it's going to be one of the areas where we find a lot of the gear that may or may not be waiting for us in this region. So Interloper is, if you're not familiar with The Long Dark, this is this game's hardest possible setting. First time I ever played it, it started me in the most difficult zone at the time, which at the time was Timberwolf Mountain. And I played it on the channel. That recording is in my very first Interloper series. Just search my playlists for the first Interloper. I've done 2, so this is my 3rd. Alright. A little bit of scrap metal. Beautiful sunset to start us off. I love it. Now, before it gets too much worse, let's actually step inside. Okay, no corpse. I have no light sources on me whatsoever, which kind of sucks, because I wish I could look around in here a little bit more easily right now, with it getting dark and all. But I'm going to try my best to just navigate for a second. If it gets hard to see, or if you lose track of what I'm doing, I'll do my best to narrate. One of the things they fixed as a general fix is there's no longer a pause when you're loading up a save and you open your inventory or try to open a container for the first time. They fixed that bug, and that's something that I have been lamenting for some time. And actually a couple of you, including a gentleman that has been around as a Legionary for a very long time, you know how much I appreciate you, buddy, were quick to tweet me about it and be like, hey, just so you know, they fixed this. So you can tell that I've complained about something a lot when people are immediately tweeting me. They think of me the second they see a patch note, which, you know, as much as that might come from me complaining and being sour about certain things, you have no idea how much I appreciate it when the result of my complaining is that people go out of their way to get excited and inform me of a change so that I will be happy. Alright, so we've got a bandage. Not much otherwise, though. Right. Trying to use the last of my light here to look around. There's probably a little bit of coal in here. Not a lot, though. We'll leave it here by the forge and the furnace. Interesting to start at Desolation Point, isn't it? Because so much of the Interloper often is trying to get to Desolation Point. So, in theory, if we were to find a heavy hammer here, we could go ahead and make some of our gear right up front. Alright, so we found a fishing skill book. That's good. Pillow. So if you're not familiar with The Long Dark and you've never seen me play it before, let me just give you a quick rundown of what we're doing here. This game has permadeath. So this is a survival game. There's no, there are no supernatural elements aside from the geomagnetic storm that caused the events of the Sandbox in the story mode. So there are no zombies here to be afraid of. There are not even any other people in the world. Right now, Hadrian has talked about maybe adding NPCs. Can opener, hey! That's pretty good. There are no NPCs in the world. Oh, that's also dog food. That's a really good early game find. There are no NPCs in the world. They've talked about adding NPCs, but for the time being, there's no way to run into other people. So you're alone. The only threats are right on the bottom of the screen. I've done survival school series about this that have actually focused on teaching people how to play, but the quick rundown is, obviously we have temperature, we have rest, we have thirst, and we have hunger. So we have to just feed ourselves and make sure that and there's not even any bathroom mechanics. Who knows, they might get added one day, but for now that's the territory of games like Ark. You can't take a dump on anything in The Long Dark, thank God. I just feel like that wouldn't fit in this game. But the objective is to survive as long as you can. And as I believe I said a moment ago, there is permadeath in this game. You only have one shot at surviving. And there we go, we have hypothermia risk, which means we are officially losing condition. That life bar down on the bottom left is what you don't want to reach 0. Any of the bars in the middle are fine. They will start to affect our condition when they're at 0, but we will live as long as that bar on the left is reasonably full. Alright, so let's avoid hypothermia risk. See, I'm tempted. There's a couple of different directions I could go right now. We could go ahead and go straight to this place over here. It would be the best use of time. We just don't have a lot of daylight. and there could be wolves, which would really, really wreck my day. And then we could come back to the lighthouse once we needed more shelter. I think I'm going to go ahead and risk it. I think I'm going to push in the early game here. Yes, I am starting to lose condition. How much condition exactly? I'm at 97%. Mark is at 97%. If you don't know what I'm joking about when I say Mark or Jennifer, those are not the names of the literal Sandbox characters. They're nameless, not NPCs, but they're generic Sandbox characters. But the voice actors who play them are none other than Mark Meir and Jennifer Hale. They also play the main characters in the story mode. And those two voice actors voiced Commander Shepard, as I've said many times on the channel, in Mass Effect, whether you are male or female. Hey Loon, I can hear you. Oh look, there's some beef jerky. And a backpack. You thought I was wasting my time stepping up to the boats. Nope. There's stuff in here. I'm gonna find it. Hey, there's some reclaimed wood too. Need to be careful because a wolf can definitely patrol near here. I'm being rather careless. So I wonder if they've there's some more dog food. Just sitting randomly in the snow by the dock. That's a lucky find. I wonder if they've updated the Interloper settings again. When Interloper was originally announced, what they said was that wildlife would be more rare in Interloper. So you'd be less likely to run into wildlife. But when you ran into it, it would be more dangerous. And I haven't seen a wolf yet. I've seen deer. But in more recent plays on Interloper difficulty, which I think, when did I do a more recent playthrough on Interloper difficulty? Was it the Faithful Cartographer Interloper series, or was it another series? I don't know. Trying to keep my head on a swivel here. But in more recent playthroughs, I have noted that there still seem to be a fair number of wildlife, a fair amount of wildlife out in the world. All right, there's some rose hips, which we might make use of in a little while. I like the idea of there being less wildlife on high difficulty, like in Interloper, but things still being really hard. I'm going to be quiet for a second because I don't want to miss anything that could be in here. And if I get into, for instance, what I want to do with the series too soon, like if I start talking about that too quickly, then what's going to happen is I will... Right, that's an old bedroll. That's not a bedroll that I can actually use, sadly. I will distract myself, and I will, in favor of... Oh, good, a whetstone. That'd be good for sharpening my knife once I have one. Gotta make one in Interloper. You don't find knives in the world in Interloper. But yeah, if I talk too much, especially about an important topic, I might miss critical supplies while I'm here. And I don't want to do that. Because again, I only have one life. That's where again, if you're not familiar with The Long Dark, you haven't seen me play it before. I've got a lot of new Stellaris subscribers on the channel right now. This game is incredibly intense. Because you only have the one shot, and you've got to do your best to make it. And now I have Lose Yourself playing in my head, because I said those words. Okie dokie. So, let's step over here. This is not where I said I was going to explore. I'm just getting sidetracked. Which never happens. Alright, that one's locked, which I had a feeling it would be. Let's step upstairs. I'm kind of hoping it will be Warm enough in here. Of course it's not. Why would I expect that, ever? Summit soda. See, here's some initial... That's a first aid kit. Nice. It's empty. Stuff is incredibly hard to find in this mode. But yeah, I am going to be quiet for a second. One thing I did find in that super hard playthrough pretty quickly that I mentioned that when I first booted up this patch was I found a pry bar. I did find a pry bar in the desolate region that has no human buildings whatsoever. Excellent. Did he say excellent? He even sounded like he sounded like he sounded like Mr. Burns. Excellent. Notice that there's now a line in the interface there between open drawer and empty. That's an interesting touch to kind of make that aspect of the interface a little bit less plain. I'll be honest, I'm not this is just the artist in me coming out, the person who's looking at aesthetics. I'm not sure it was entirely necessary. Honestly. Okay, there's some reclaimed wood. We'll grab that. And we'll go ahead and come over here and pay this guy a visit. Lighting is pretty good at the moment because we have clear skies outside. It could be...
I can still eat this.
Oh yeah, we got a can opener, man. We can eat that. So we're in good shape loot-wise, but we are losing some serious health, so I've got to keep moving. Because ultimately, before I rest, I would actually... Also, I don't have frostbite risk at the moment, thank God. But I would like to get back to the lighthouse and rest there, because there's a bed there. There might not be a bed here, but there could be a bedroll, which is why I'm looking around. And there could be a heavy hammer, which would make me a very happy Hadrian. And yeah, there's a bed here too, but the thing is, the warmth bonus, see, that makes me nervous. Like, it wouldn't... I could go ahead and sleep here if I wanted to until morning. I might do that. The warmth bonus would be enough to get me above freezing. We're using imperial units, so Fahrenheit, 32, for those of you who know the metric system. 32 is the magic number that we need to be above in order to survive this incredibly challenging survival experience. I'm already down to 68% of my life. There's another bed. Still have pretty decent lighting. Hallelujah. Alright, those are all just empty cans. Which aren't... Those definitely in this new update shouldn't be passed over as easily as you used to, because sometimes you can actually find empty cans in the world which you can use, like... Hang on. Like this one that I have on me. The game starts you with a recycled can, even in Interloper mode. And you can use those to cook. So you can find those in the world as well. So when you see these kind of derelict cans that you're used to ignoring in the Long Dark, maybe don't ignore them as much anymore, because... could come in handy. A note left behind. A flat sand or river stone 3 inches in width, at least 6 inches long, is ideal for sharpening your blade. Axe or knife, you will want to lubricate the surface with water to keep the filings in suspension, and your work will go faster. When no light is visible along the cutting edge, you've reached your mark. Strop along a piece of leather for final honing. The importance of a sharp tool cannot be overstated. Backer 3781, good job. Excellent addition to the game. If I ever call out a backer and you're watching, by all means, say hello in the comments, by the way. I always, I very much doubt that will ever happen, because there's so many. I mean, the likelihood is small, just the way that things work out. But if you are that backer, or you happen to know who it was, by all means, share. Would love to hear from you. Sorry, I just realized my light was on in my recording space. I'm like, why am I playing The Long Dark with the light on? That makes no sense whatsoever. Alright, so we're at 42. Oh, 42, 40. Wow, that's the easiest combination ever. 42, 42, 42, 40, 42. That's the answer, folks. Alright, so there's some cash, a ragged thin wool sweater. It's not in great condition, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. We're going to put the thin wool sweater on underneath, and the plaid shirt on top, because it's got better wind protection. And obviously wind doesn't matter in here, but that's a step in the right direction. We'll take a better look at our clothing situation once I've fully searched this area, but I don't have a lot of time, and hypothermia risk is getting high, so we're going to need to get in bed soon. The risk percentage isn't something you need to actually worry about until it fills all the way up, but that doesn't mean I want to push it. I'm trying to make my way around quickly here. Alright, this could be where the magic happens. Let's see. Broken metal door. Plastic container. Kind of hoping for a bedroll up here. There it is. Yes, it will. Antibiotics, too. Very good. A book. We can use that to start a fire. Some pinnacle peaches. Hey. This person left this place decently stocked for me. Alright, the bedroll is the real win. Especially for the first episode of an Interloper playthrough. How are we looking on hypothermia risk? 84? Alright, speaking of bed. I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep looking around once I have a little bit more daylight to work with. We found some summit sodas. We've got some new clothing that'll keep us a little warmer. So I'm going to... Yeah, the warmth bonus is 5.4 degrees here. Let's sleep for... Well, first of all, we need to... Speaking of summit sodas... Let's actually consume these pinnacle peaches. We've got a can opener, so we don't have to lose any of the caloric value. There's that. And let's go ahead and drink our summit soda. That's going to pretty much fill our thirst up almost all the way, if not all the way. Not quite, but close enough. And I'm a little bit nervous about this because the temperature value changed there. But I guess that's because of the clothing we found. So let's go ahead and sleep for a nice round 8 hours. We should wake up. Oh yeah, that's right. We couldn't sleep for 8 hours because we weren't in that bad of a way. But it did heal our hypothermia risk, which is good. Yeah, of course not. We started the game at sunset, which is something I feel like maybe should be... Here comes the first suggestion. Here it comes. It's a Hadrian playthrough. You know there's going to be critiques and things that they could tweak. I feel like if you start the game at sunset, even if the argument is that your character's plane just crashed and you're just getting started, like, why is your energy level full? Like, it should start you more ready to rest so that you don't run into this conundrum where you're starting off and you can't align your sleep cycle with the natural day and night cycle. Not that that's a huge concern in the Long Dark. The concern is obviously survival, not what time you're awake. But, like, you get my point, hopefully. I think I hear wind outside, so the weather has gotten worse. But this gives us an opportunity to, before morning, actually get over to the lighthouse if the weather's not so bad that I feel like that's out of the question. Okay, where could there possibly be a heavy hammer in here? I don't have any matches. Oh wait, I do have a flare though. I'm definitely not going to light it. Holster. Let's put that away. Definitely not going to light that flare. And save that for moments where we have wolves to scare off, right? Alright, so is there anything under this table? I'm triple checking. I've already checked those drawers. Anything Anything over here? No. So what are we going to do with this series? People have been asking me, when are you going to play the Long Dark again, Hadrian? When are you going to do more Against All Odds? What's going on? What's the deal? First of all, I will go ahead and say, for those of you who want like the full kind of rambling initial thoughts on it, go back and watch the final minutes of the final episode of Against All Odds Season 4. I talked about it ad nauseum at that point, and I'm sticking to the plan that I noted back then. By the way, notice the fire barrels now have a cooking grate on the top of them. It's pretty cool. I'm sticking to that plan. I'm pretty much saying I'm doing exactly what I said I would do then. So we're doing an Interloper playthrough. Again, this is my third Interloper playthrough. It's not an Against All Odds series. Against All Odds will use custom settings next time I do a season, and we will go until I literally die, until I can't go any farther. So we'll go up to Against All Odds series. You know, in the past I've gone up to 100 episodes. Whether or not I do that again is another question. Yeah, I'm a little hesitant about this.
Die if I don't warm up soon.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to try and navigate this blizzard out to the... Because there could be a wolf, and that could just lead to all kinds of problems. But yeah, we're playing an Interloper playthrough. And what that means is that I can't sleep, but I can pass time. We do have passive condition regeneration. So I'm going to play this series. This is Interloper difficulty, obviously, so there's a chance we could... let's go ahead and drink one of our sodas. Or actually, no, first things first.
Something soon.
Mark, I'm on it, dude. Chill out. Let's do some baked up dog food, because the condition on that's somewhat low, and dog food it is wet, so it has some value in restoring the thirst meter. So with Interloper difficulty, obviously there's a higher chance that I could die sooner. And if that happens, if we die within the first 10 episodes, I'll start over. We are probably going to limit the series, I would imagine, to 40 episodes altogether, because again, this is not Against All Odds. The point is not for me to do a series where I'm, playing at length. Sorry, my chair's creaking. Had to move my leg. This new chair is not so new anymore. But anyway, we're not going to do a series where I play at length and play until I die and I'm just going ad nauseum. We'll probably save Against All Odds Season 5 for the next major update to the Long Dark, which is, again, what I said that I would do. But let's do one more can of dog food. I need mainly the water from it. I don't have a means to light a fire at the moment, just yet. All right, the sun is rising. And it would be good to sleep for a bit, so let's sleep as long as the game will let us. So we're going to play until probably 40 episodes, if I get that far. There's a book there. Glad I spotted that. See, it might be worth looking around again now that we've got light. And, if I have to start over because I die within the first 10, we won't restart the episode count, but we will restart and play until 40. So it'll be a good showcase of high difficulty Long Dark play on the very newest patch, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Aha! A sewing primer. Oh yeah, definitely could. See, this is why I'm gonna give this place one more quick pass before I go, but thirst is a problem now at this point. Do I have anything else? I've got one more can of dog food, and I've got the Pinnacle Peaches. You know what? Let me go ahead and eat these. Pinnacle Peaches have a lot of water in them, and that'll definitely help. Can't go for too much longer this episode, because edited 30-minute videos take forever and a day to encode. I know, Mark. I know. It's cold. Cold. I get it. Anything back there? Take an hour and 30 minutes to break this down. I don't have an hour and 30 minutes. And actually, the weather seems pretty good right now, so I don't want to stick around. I want to move. Because I see light. Granted, that doesn't necessarily mean the weather's not terrible outside, but there's light and I don't hear wind. Aha! Here's some stuff I didn't explore. Aha! Pry bar. That came at a good time. See? See? Now we have some additional stuff to look through here before we leave. That worked out. Okay. So with pry bar, we can get into all these locked lockers that I've found so far, which really changes the game. Pretty good start here, if I do say so myself. As if I can take credit for it. It's completely randomized. I can't take credit for how good the start is or what I'm finding. But it is a pretty good start, so I don't know why I say if I do say so myself, but you know what I mean. I'm just the guy recording the video and talking randomly while I play. Alright, now there sometimes is a heavy hammer hanging out down here, and I just want to make absolutely sure I didn't overlook it. Not seeing one, though. So in Interloper difficulty, there will be no rifles either, which is interesting. There's no way of shooting and killing wildlife, either for hunting or self-defense. Nothing. This reminds me of my first Interloper playthrough. Alright, so now we have the lockers at the base of the stairs. And the lockers in the, you hear that? That's a wolf. And it's nearby. I know you can't, dude, but I want you to be able to feel your heartbeat. I'm crouching to reduce my detection radius, which is a thing. See, now I'm nervous because I don't know where he is. But they usually, when they patrol into this area, they hang out over there, right on the other side of that broken wall. So they're close. But they could also be over here. There's no way of knowing. And I'm really nervous about... This is me beelining. Alright, I didn't hear a wolf get aggroed, so that's good. Now let's look through these locked lockers here. Oh, notice that we are actually recovering warmth in here, so we've warmed up with the clothing that we found, and we did find a bit of cloth. We don't have anything, we don't have a sewing kit or a hook. Oh, a bandage, nice, I missed that the first time I was here. We don't have a sewing cloth or a hook. I need a knife to break down some of this stuff, but we're making progress. Do I need to break that down? I mean, yeah, there's an argument for breaking this down now, because I'm not losing condition in any areas to the same degree I was a moment ago.
Surrounded by snow, but nothing to drink.
We'll work on it. It is a bit of a problem, because I still don't have, aside from the flare, I don't have any way of starting a fire, and I don't want to have to use a flare to light a fire. I want to find some matches, which I'm hoping I will find at the lighthouse, because the fact that I didn't find any in the warehouse is disappointing and a little nerve-wracking. Now there are additional trailers here.
So cold.
I know, dude. In there. Alright, I don't see a wolf out that direction. So let me go visit the additional trailers. because I'm here, and I'm probably never going to be this far out again. That's the back door. We were just in there. Son of a... Ow. Alright, well, so much for exploring those. We need to... Oh, a bear! Hey, nice. A bear guarding the Riken, of all things. Alright, so we can't go back to the Riken, although I'm tempted to because there could be matches there, too. That's definitely a potential match location. Hey, there's a cairn. I got to. I have to. It's a cairn. The story is not yet written. Backer 2154, get on it! What you doing, man? Man, if I had an opportunity... I was not a Kickstarter backer for The Long Dark. If I had had an opportunity to leave a bit of lore in this game, you have no idea how much I would have jumped on... Or do you have any idea how much I would have jumped on that? Seriously. Okay, let me see if I can make it to the lighthouse. Frostbite risk. Of course I have frostbite risk. Because I have no gloves or head coverage on. So my frostbite risk is presently on my hands. That's the first place you get it. I have shoes, so I don't have... your extremities are the first place you get it, but your head is typically the second place you get frostbite risk. Like, it's supposed to be on, like, your ears and your nose that, you know, you get really cold, you know? Cartilage starts freezing up. At least I think that's the basic idea. Because it doesn't have blood running through it, you know? Oh, son of a... You were a lot closer. That was a close encounter with Bearkind. I was not expecting him to be that close. And he didn't even aggro. Alright, there is nothing at Matt's truck. And I don't see anything else worth grabbing over here either. Not even any... Actually, wait, hang on. There's some sticks. Sticks I can use. Sticks and stones. Gotta stop this episode in just a second. I just would like to try and get to the lighthouse. And the game is doing everything it can to make my pulse shoot through the roof. We're gonna try and sneak by this bear.
Tongue feels like sandpaper.
Okay. So the bear ignored me. Thank God. Bears are tough to aggro. They are. Once they aggro, you might hate your life. But when they don't, you can get around them fairly straightforwardly. Alright, and there can be a wolf up at the top of this ridge. But I'm going to risk it because this will help us get on the path to the lighthouse. Probably fastest. Those of you who watched me play Interloper previously, you'll recall that was for the Faithful Cartographer patch, which I think was the final. There's our frostbite bisque on our head. That was the final patch before launch. I think that was the last time I did Interloper. I had a harrowing moment here in this particular stretch. But this time, the game's being pretty nice to me. There's some crows up there, fairly high, which implies a body up high. They did mention in the patch notes that they fixed it to where crows and flying birds will never spawn below ground. So you'll never see birds particularly low. Even if they should be lower relative to, like, a corpse that they're circling. We've lost a lot of condition. We're not in good shape at the end of this first episode, but that's Interloper for you. I've got to fix my thirst problem first and foremost. Let's see what we can find in here to fix that. And it is not warm enough in here. That's unfortunate. Not good, gotta move fast. We can light a fire to fix the problem, but the problem is I don't have anything to light a fire with. Yeah, see, I have no starter of any kind, so there need to be matches here. Candy bar, that's nice. See, laptop, that's where a potential buffer memory could kick in. If we die, we die. I'm not gonna fret about it. I'll let this be episode 1. We've had some good commentary, for sure. There's an emergency stim. That's good, but you know what, game? I need matches. I need things with which to start fires, and the only thing I have at the moment is a flare. I really don't want to have to use a flare to light a fire, but I will do it. If that's the reality that life creates. All right, well, I've got to stop, but I can't because I love this game. Let's go outside really fast. Some more cloth. If I had something to repair with, that would be great, but I don't. Right, so there's nothing out here, really. There is a metal container with nothing in it. Yay. Okay, well, we're back inside. The game just saved. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. In the next one, we are going to find our way out of the dark here, and we're going to probably use a flare to light a fire, which I absolutely hate, but we don't have a choice. We've got to light this thing, and we've got a decent chance of starting a fire with the other stuff that I've found, and then we can use the fire to both warm ourselves and get some water and kind of solve this situation, and then we shouldn't, fingers crossed, die in episode 2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in the same slot the Subnautica series was playing for a while. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.